Hey, Loco sports fans, welcome. Friday night edition of the Loco Sports Lowdown, and five nights in a row, boys. We're on a roll. We got a
Actually,
streak.
Yeah, we
six
are.
nights. 6 nights. We Sunday as well.
Oh, you're right. We did a bracket show Sunday. It is 6 in a
Yeah,
row. We got a streak going here. Pressure's on now, but we got a great show tonight. We got quite a few playoff games, including college softball, USCB softball, some baseball, some softball, some soccer.
As the great John Rothstein would say, we sleep in June, July. He says we sleep in May, but
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen to that. So we do have a lot of games to talk about, but we also have some special guests joining us tonight. We'll be talking with Coach Jay Scarbro and star center fielder Slaide Burd from the Hilton Head Christian Academy baseball team as they are getting ready for another state championship series starting Monday. They'll have Cardinal Newman in the state championship series. And I'm guessing we'll talk to Coach about. We'll find out tonight who's got the first game at home because we were wondering aloud.
Right.
Actually, I'm pretty sure it's Cardinal Newman. That's what Lou.
Oh, is it Cardinal Newman game one?
It's in Columbia on Monday. It'll be at Hilton Head Christian on Tuesday, if I'm remembering correctly.
I think I'd prefer that if I'm Hilton Head Christian, because then you at least have the potential to clinch it.
You'd rather have the clincher.
Other way, you don't have that option.
Would you rather have the potential clincher at home rather than the first game, in your opinion?
I
would want it.
And it sets you up where, when you play your home game, you can only, you can either clinch or you're in a elimination game situation. You don't have to on the road. So I think I'd prefer that. I mean, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other, but I do.
We should also mention if it does go to game 3, it'll be a neutral site game, which is yet to be determined where exactly that will be.
Yep. Right, we figure that out on the fly in Skiza. We don't make plans in advance. Why would we want to do that? That's 3 days from now. But all fun aside, we're going to talk with those guys about what's been a phenomenal season, not just season, but like a run. The last 3 years has been just incredible what they've done over there, and
absolutely.
No drop off, and that's pretty hard to do over that course of time. So going to be a cool show tonight, and it's brought to you as always by Mickelson Law Firm and WHHI TV, our all-star sponsors. Mickelson Law Firm been with us since the beginning. They started us off, the first sponsors here at Loco Sports, and they've been helping us out ever since, and they can help you with your legal needs down in downtown Bluffton, right at the corner in Main and Main in downtown Bluffton, and they're our official real estate closing attorney and the presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. So, of course, they're going to be excited to see that we're talking with Coach Scarbro and Slaide Burd tonight. And Slaide made a little news last night, so we'll be talking with him about his change of plans and what that's going to mean. But we'll stop for a little while we wait for Slaide. But a lot of scores to run down tonight, and I'll get you a ticker going here in a minute. My cat's driving me crazy. Wes, you and I were both tracking it this afternoon, and USCB fell behind early 4-0 to Georgia College, and then made a heck of a comeback, and it seemed like they had actually rallied to take the lead. And
I'm not sure what happened there because I wasn't watching the actual game broadcast. I was watching the stats, and it originally said that they went ahead 5-4, and Whitlock singled in. She drove in 2 runs, and then it was 4-3 again, and she was out on batter's interference,
which I'm guessing meant that she was out of the box when she contacted the ball. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. Maybe that, I'm not sure exactly how that went down, but nonetheless, unfortunate. It seemed like a quirky play that took the go-ahead runs off the board, and then they ended up losing 5-3. And as we've discussed, it's a single elimination tournament, which is kind of wild for baseball and softball that they do it that way.
I mean,
that's that.
Yeah, I guess softball makes sense in like a small, sense. I guess you could say this, but I think double elimination is still the best way to do it.
I do too. I just think it's too fluky of a game.
It really is.
Softball to
it really is. I guess just because you have your best pitchers normally. I guess it's different in baseball, but even so, the randomness of
it is. But Yeah. I just think singles crazy in that sport. But
yeah, I agree.
But at the same time, like they played each other 3 times all season. So it's like, we
Right.
know who's
Yeah,
who.
I mean, they were the higher seed. I mean, they had the better the performances today. Although I mean, certainly USCB put up a good fight, and it's certainly now you wish that you weren't losing a couple of those key components of standouts that you are for that team. But hey, you got the opportunity to go into the transfer portal and see if you can pick up some new additions and look to build your squad from there. But I guess this thing's the most for Madison Murphy, who obviously senior, had a tremendous. She was excellent. The runs that were given up early, there was some unearned runs. There was an error that factored in. So I'm not, you can't fault her too much for how that start or how that game went. I look back on is in the third inning, they had the bases loaded, had a chance to score first and could not. And that you look back on that as potentially the swing pushing this game, because after that, Georgia College put up their big inning and USCB couldn't capitalize. So, they're minimalized points during a game where things are very thin in terms of the difference between these couple of teams. But props to Madison Murphy on a terrific career here. Same for Chloe Turner, Taylor Chang. I mean, certainly it's going to be always tough to replace some terrific offensive players like that. And however, some good promise amongst the squad, especially you look at our very own Alyssa Rose, who had a great end of the season. She still has another year, and looking forward to seeing what she does in 2027. 2027, that's crazy. Next year's 2027.
Right? Yeah, it came up on us quick, didn't it?
Yeah.
I hope some of those, maybe one of those girls is going to stick around in the area and wants to start her coaching career, because I still need some help over at Hardyville. Definitely going to need some help next season. So would love to talk to somebody about that. If Madison wants to be a pitching coach, we'd love to have her. Looks like we lost Max to the Gremlins, but we've still got you good, Marcus? You look confused. You good, Marcus? You hear us? I think Marcus is being gremlins as well. Yeah, the Gremlins are out in force. My cat is driving me crazy, y'all. But let's see. Sticking with softball, lots of action tonight. Only a couple of high school league games, actually. We lost. A
couple more teams wrapping up their seasons, including Hilton Head Seahawks and Gilbert's tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say Battery Creek softball was also playing. I was going to see how they were doing. They're down 8-2 to Waccamaw. So looks like it's going to be end of the road for them as well. They're in it's not over yet. It's in the 5th. But then the Skeeza softball state tournament got started as well. And JP2 went 1-1. They won 3-1 over Heathwood Hall and lost 9-1 to Wilson Hall. So they'll play again in the morning against Heathwood again, and if they beat them, they'll play Wilson Hall at 11:30. So they play Heathwood at 9. In the 3A bracket, Carlton Prep with 2 one-run wins. They beat Williamsburg 8-7 and Calhoun 6-5. So they're in the catbird seat. They'll get the Williamsburg versus the Calhoun Williamsburg winner at 11:30 tomorrow, and then Kings Academy beat Cross 13-12, and then Cross lost 16-6 to Lee Academy. So they're out in 2A. So that's what we had softball wise. As you mentioned, Hilton Head baseball knocked out 5-0 at Gilbert in that game that was rained out and made up tonight. So into the road for that young Seahawks team, but really young squad that's going to be good for a while. Their JV was solid too. And then some soccer, girls soccer on tap tonight. 2 Lowco teams advance in 4A. Hilton Head 2-0 over South Aiken. Bluffton 4-0 over South Florence, both on the road. May River lost 4-0 at Gray Collegiate. So we got 2 teams doing battle. You know who they have next off the top of your head?
I believe Gray will get Hilton Head. Hilton Head
goes to Gray. And then
Bluffton will be at either Gilbert or Bishop England.
Bishop England, presumably.
Yeah. So Hilton Head will have to go to Gray. Maybe a chance to avenge the football team's narrow defeat back in the fall before Gray moves up to 5A.
There you go. And then in 3A, Battery Creek, they got a first playoff win, maybe ever, but at least in a long time. And they fall in the second round 6-0 to Fox Creek. And then 2A, 1A, second round, Atlantic Collegiate blew out Hampton 13-0. And Bridges Prep with a 3-0 win over Woodland. They used 2 different goalies. Carolina Steckley with 2 goals. Callie Garrity with a goal and an assist, Chloe Connor an assist, and Chloe McCulloch an assist. So the Bridges Chicas move on.
Yeah, and they'll get
from tonight.
Likely they'll get Academic Magnet next on Tuesday.
Yeah, I think so. Academics a chore. Yeah, they're a chore. But so that's all the scores.
Great win for Bridges. Great season that they've been having to plink a solid Woodland team like that, and as you mentioned, Carolina Steckley with a pair of goals in that game. So Bucks look good in the soccer pitch so far. Congratulations to them. They're the only team that played at home tonight. I think everyone else is on the road.
Yeah.
Actually, you guys were at home, Hardyville.
Yeah, we were at home.
Yep.
Our game didn't last too long. Lakeview was pretty good. I don't know how they got 6th place in their region. They were pretty good. That little girl was whipping it. They were tough, but is what it is. Sorry, I'm making this a ticker. We're still looking for Slaide Burd to join us here in a little bit, along with Jay Scarbro, to talk about Hilton Head Christian Academy baseball. But we've got a lot of stuff on tap tomorrow as well. Some more baseball.
Yeah, I've been looking to find out what time those games are. I've not. The last time I checked
Marcus
a couple hours ago, I could not. Obviously, I guess what's happening is they're trying to wait and see in terms of what the best time would be in terms of weather, because we do have some rain.
Yeah, there's definitely some of that going on. Bridges is going to try to play their baseball game early in the morning.
From what I checked,
10 a.m.
No, I have not seen an early start.
There's a lot of that going on.
Yeah. It looks like the rain in Bluffton is going to be early, so especially soccer. I wouldn't be surprised if they play that one later afternoon or evening.
Right, because they got turf.
And baseball also has to play tomorrow. May River in the district championship against South Florence. So both the Shark baseball and the soccer teams will be home tomorrow. Still trying to find the start time for those games. Last time I checked, they have not.
And we will also have, we will also have the Reverence Iron Man going on over at May River for the wrestling folks. Max, welcome back. Marcus, welcome back from the Gremlins.
Yes, indeed. Big time.
I'm making us a ticker.
Max, as we mentioned, I think you're away, but tough finish for USCB softball. Looked like they went ahead, but Tamaya Whitlock was out on batter's interference, and that kind of really took away the momentum that they were gaining, because right after that, Georgia College went out and hit a solo home run, made it 5-3, and USCB couldn't really do much in the final inning. But this was a game of missed opportunities for them, because I thought they had a couple of really great chances to win this, even though they were down 4-0. The chance the bases loaded early. So, a lot thought that was still built on, upon what they've done in the past. I like the direction this team is heading. Certainly, we'll miss all the seniors, especially Madison Murphy, Chloe Turner, and Taylor Chang, who were such important fixtures of this team. But you were, as someone who called a couple of games with me, I think that we are both going to be, optimistic and excited for what Cody Yeske is going to do with this team as the future comes here in the next couple of years, and especially with how she's built it, not just with the players that she's been able to add in terms of transfer or recruiting, but also players who she's kept on as alums, like a Jaden Goodwin, others, Devin Weller, who have been a part of this program, and maybe we'll see one or more, or who knows how many more join that staff, or maybe finally stick around here. So, exciting time for the softball program, and getting a higher seed they did last year, and once again, second year in a row, they have push their tournament opponent into in a tough game. They push them to the limit.
Yeah. Excuse me. I 100% agree. I think, we've seen this program continue to improve year after year. And, I think Cody Eske's done a fantastic job with the team. And in the 3 seasons I've covered USCB baseball alongside US and many others that have come through the Sandshard Game Day Network. Yes. We have seen this program continue to improve. I mean, you remember last season getting their first bid into the Peach Bowl Conference tournament, squeaking in as an 8 seed. This year they played extremely well in conference play and ended up with the 6th seed. And, I think that the improvement is really shown in this team. And obviously those seniors, Madison Murphy, Taylor Chang, Tamaya Whitlock, I mean, all of them on that team have been true inspirations and just really hard workers for this team. And, I think the chemistry this year was really great. So yeah, I think there's a lot of upside with this program right now, and I think this is a program that I think will continue to improve and hopefully be a real contender for a Peach Bowl Conference championship in the next couple seasons.
Right on.
I think so. I think so too. I mean, they're not too far away from it. Certainly you lose a quality number 1 pitcher in Murphy, so that's going to be the key. Is
right.
Emily Morgan's look good. Cassie Brundage has looked good, but you need.
That's where you got to go in the portal. I think.
Yeah.
You got to find somebody who is not getting the opportunity they were looking for at a higher level and wants to come down and be an ace or something. I think like it's that's how they got Murphy, right?
Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah, I think she came in midway through her career. Yeah.
I think they need more than just one Madison Murphy type pitcher. If they want to be really
I mean, I agree. I think you gotta. Yeah, it's just harder. It's a harder sell if they're not going to be the one, or they're not clearly going to be the one, especially if they're coming from a situation where they didn't feel like they got a lot of run.
Right.
They want some assurances, So it just it's a hard thing. You got to make sure you get one though. And then if you can get a 1B, you got to get a 1A. If you can get a 1B too, that's a bonus.
Well,
but at least they do have a couple coming back who have gained some experience. And
I was going to say, I think they have someone as well in that group of pitchers that will return next year that I think could be that 1A or 1B type pitcher.
Yeah.
Because I saw Cassie Brundage improve throughout the season. Emily Morgan improved throughout the season. Kylie Fisher really showed up in the second half of the season and had some really good outings. So there are 3 pitchers there who I think could be, if you bring someone in to be that top starter in the circle, and you have someone out of those 3 pitchers who can show up next season and be that really solid second game type arm, I think you have a really solid pitching staff if that happens. And if all of that stuff works together, you'll have a pitching staff that is going to be really tough to get hits off of.
Yep.
That's where it all starts. I mean, you got to have a solid pitching staff. Because it's if you could prevent the other team from scoring runs, so scoring a good amount of runs, it makes your life,
especially in softball. Especially in softball,
yes,
it just completely changes the game when you have a dominant pitcher. But pitching can take you a long way in baseball too, and it certainly has benefited Hilton Head Christian Academy over the last couple of seasons, and again this year. Unfortunately, Slaide Burd not going to be able to join us tonight. He bailed on us. High school boys have more important things, things to do on Friday night than hanging around talking to a bunch of nerds like us. But Jay Scarbro doesn't. So Coach Jay Scarbro joins us tonight on the LowcoSports Lowdown. What's up, Coach?
How are y'all doing?
I'm doing
quite well.
I mean, I'm exhausted. It's been a long week and a long school year for those of us who are in the classroom, certainly. But long season for a lot of people, but not for you. You have to feel like you want the season to just go on and on and on because you guys are having such a charmed run, not just this season, but over the last 3. I mean, could you have imagined when you came down here to Hilton Head the success you were going to be a part of over the past few years?
I really didn't. I've told several people this. I just really wanted to, get involved and help as I was able. Obviously, coached for a long time, and when Coach Wilkerson asked me to join the staff, he said, you're a pitching guy. You probably are just the right fit for what we need. And I still remember we had lunch. He said, if we really get our pitchers to buy in this next year, we can win the state championship. And I thought, well, I don't know what you have, but just hearing his conviction, he was like, we've got a good group. Well, he was right. We not only had a good group of seniors that 24 class, but we had obviously what we're still seeing the benefits of right now, a good young group as well. And I had no idea what I was getting into, but it has been a very, very special run. And man, I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, boys.
Coach, I've gotten to get to know you over these past couple seasons. It's been a real privilege getting to talk with you about baseball things and stuff like that. We look at this team and, it's just, and not only is it a young group, but you have what is a program, not just at the varsity level, but at the JV level, at the middle school level as well, that is producing these players at an incredible rate, an incredible talent and skill set. You look at these teams, and I just see the true potential every year with this team. What is, obviously, what is the drive, the momentum? What is the implementations you guys put into these kids to help this program continue to be successful?
Well, I think, it starts with a coaching staff that's really willing to buy in to what you're doing. And, from the first moment that I took over this past year, from the middle school group, the JV coaches, excuse me, even my assistant coaches on the high school team. I mean, we start every fall having coaches meetings. We talk through our defensive playbook. We talk through all the pitching principles, offensive principles we want to go over. Obviously, Eddie Rodriguez speaks into a lot of those things. He's so good with our hitters. And just top down, we've had a group of coaches that have really bought in, and they've just said, okay, coach, however the practice time's set up, however preseason sets up, we'll just take off and do what you all are doing there. And they've done a fantastic job.
Go ahead, Wes.
I got to go to the dramatic 1-0 win in the first game over Augusta Christian. Two things. Really, obviously it was great to see Dylan hit that home run, but what really stuck out to me was the defense, and the defense was spectacular. Everybody doing their part. A couple of just game-changing plays made defensively. How much does your team pride itself on that? And the pitchers trusting that this defense will make plays behind them to help win them these ball games.
Yeah, this group I have been so impressed with. I was actually telling somebody at school this today. This group, they're a mature group. They've been there. They kind of know what it takes. But, they have set out to just say, we're going to find a way to win. If we have to win 1-0, we're going to win 1-0. We're just going to make plays. If we need to win 9-5 or, whatever the game looks like at the end, we're going to be on top. And so you just kind of, again, it's not something that they really talk about. It's just more of just who they are as competitors. But, we set out in the preseason to every single day, we take pregame in and out. Every single practice. When I write out our practice plans, it is number one right behind stretch, run, throw, get yourself loose, and then we go right into it. And our goal with that is to put on display before the game ever starts that we are defensively ready to make plays. From the outfield to the infield, we can make every throw. We can throw behind runners. We can make every single play. And those optics, that vantage point that the other team is seeing is that these guys play shutdown defense. And it's kind of funny. Last year, we were playing Ben Lippen in the state championship, their coach, who he and I formed a really good relationship and still talk often. He told me, we played them earlier in the season and they were loaded last year. And I felt like we were, fairly young. He said, Coach, I literally, when we played y'all earlier in the season, I took our team intentionally behind the dugout because they were going to get so intimidated watching you all take pregame infield that it was going to mess with our team before we could ever get on the field. And I was that proves, what we try to do.
Right.
And so where, and answer to your question there was, we try to take a defensive mindset and a defensive approach to everything we do. And if you ever come watch one of our practices, you'll see that it's everything that I tell them, even when we, play situational BP, I'm like, guys, this is a defensive drill. And so our guys really have bought into that. And as a result, multiple players playing multiple positions, they've done them really well.
It certainly helps that your pitchers did pretty well and have done pretty well too, Coach. I was at the JP2 game, so I know the last JP2 game that you guys played. So I certainly know exactly what Wes was talking about, and I was very impressed with how you guys field the ball and do those things. But talk about your starters and what you saw out of them to this point in the season.
Well, we've sat right there, right around a 2 ERA for the entire year for our entire staff. And, you talk about our starters, those guys are good. The thing that's probably, I guess, the most impressive about these guys, and of course, I'm the pitching coach. And so I get to see it firsthand. The thing that's most impressive about those guys is that they're very versatile. I can take one and use them on the front end. I can use them on the back end. If we've got to put a guy, more as a middle reliever, we just essentially set out and talk about that before the game starts. And, we'll get 5 out of this guy and then we'll go here. Our pitchers have done a great job just buying into, Coach, I don't have to start this game. Just you give me time to get ready in the bullpen and I'm ready to go. And, but our starters, Tucker Nelson, Colt Sparger, and Chip Hetzel have been probably our 3 primary starters this year. Will Mall has also been a starter for us. That's done a great job. And those 4 guys have done most of the work in getting our critical starts. Will Mall and Chip Hetzel, obviously, Will plays first base for us, Chip plays short. So, we try to navigate around that without having to pull them defensively out if we can. And Tucker Nelson and Colt Sparger both, when given the ball and given the opportunity, even so much so, like Tucker Nelson's coming back from an injury last year. We had to have surgery, and he came back at the very end of the season, but he still just wasn't himself. He went out there from the beginning of the season on, pitched against IMG, beat them, shut them out. Actually, pitched against Savannah Christian. He just went out there and just owned it, and he's been, such an addition to us this year. And of course, Colt Sparger, just a freshman, but good grief, his numbers.
He's a horse. He's been a horse since we were about 12, man. He's tough. But Tucker, most impressive stat to me is 5 walks in 40 innings.
Wow.
Gotta love that. You have to love that as a pitching coach. Make them hit it. Make them earn it. You have to just love that.
Well, and it shows incredible command of your pitches as well. It just shows, the true command that you have over your pitches. When you got great command, it's going to be really hard for you to get a walk or a hit off of a pitcher who's got command as good as that.
And Colt's only got 11 walks and 52 1/3 as a freshman. That's incredible.
They do. Those guys, we say this over and over again, but one of our 4 key principles we follow as a team is, hey, we're going to throw strike 1. If when we walk out of that bullpen, I need you to tell me, as the guy who's calling pitches, what feels good out of your hand today. And I don't care if it's different from the last time you started. If you can drop breaking ball in there, if you can throw changeup in there or fastball, whatever it is that feels best out of your hand, you can throw strike 1 with. That's what we're going to go with on that day. And those guys do. They attack the zone. And then they're they got a high baseball aptitude too. We talk about pitch sequencing. We talk about how we're going to sequence this hitter and what we're going to do. And, we set this guy up with this pitch, and then we work black to off the plate. And they're just like, okay, coach. And you could just tell they're not just sitting there shaking their head like, when's this guy going to start talking? It's more, okay, coach, I understand what you're doing because we understand tendencies. And when we know tendencies, we can pick those apart. And those guys do a great job.
Well, you also have the benefit of a really experienced catcher handling them, and I'm sure having Roman, makes your job as a pitching coach a heck of a lot easier.
It's funny. I've said this to several people. Coach Wilkerson told me in the fall of the year that I got there, he's like, I can tell you this, you're going to enjoy working with these pitchers because they work hard, but he said you will love working with Roman. And he could not have been, more spot on with that. I love Roman. He does a great job. He just, Danny Morgan and I were talking about this the other day. The level that he plays at and that he catches, he does such a great job of just getting pitches called for strike for us and just really works well. But if you watch him, from the time his name is called, he runs out of the dugout to his position. I love the guy because he just, with his actions, you can just tell he wants to be on the baseball field and nowhere else every time we're out there. And if he's tired, if he's hurt, you never know it. He just, I love Roman.
Maximum energy always. Just max.
Exactly the kind of player that you want.
It is.
Yeah. Our buddy Kevin Libby has a question for you as a pitching coach. I'm curious. What do you say to loosen up a tight pitcher on a mound visit?
Great question.
Great question, Kev.
Oftentimes I'll go out there, and I've been known to say this to our guys. I don't want to give away all my secrets here, but I'll typically wait until the batter steps in the box to call timeout. And then when I get out there to the mound, I'll be like, hey, guys, we're just breaking his rhythm right here. That's all we're doing. We're just breaking his rhythm. He has been on top of it today. So he just got in the box thinking he knew what we were about to do. We're just totally messing with his rhythm. And then other times I'll walk out there and be like, hey, listen, this guy thinks that we're creating the best pitch that's ever been thrown in the game of baseball. We're not. We're going to take our fastball and we're going to throw it right by him right now. And then we just call the pitch while we're standing there, call the location, and we just, more times than not, just drill it. And it works out because that little bit of time throws the hitter off, and he goes from more an aggressive approach to more of a watching approach. And so that's been, for high school pitchers, that's been my best way to kind of loosen those guys up a little bit, is just to take their mind off of that guy in the box.
I love the mind games. You can also, kind of put the base runners on edge with that too, because they start thinking you're coming up with some kind of play. No, my big thing is I don't want them to think I'm coming to be mad at them. So I'm like, hey, just a mental break. Just want to let you catch your breath for a minute, and then we just kind of chat it up for a second and go like, hey, we're good. We're gonna make the next play. We're good. All right, you good? All right, let's go. I'm in and out. I just want to stop.
That's what you got to do.
Make everybody breathe for a minute and think about something else. The world is not ending. It's okay.
Man, look at the sky. It's beautiful today, isn't it? That kind of thing.
But no, you mentioned your JV coaches, and I have a lot of familiarity with them and with those kids because I worked with Coach Jackson and Coach Bruni for years with the Waves group, and a lot of those guys are on that team. You have to be excited about that group coming up too, man. You have a pipeline of just kids upon kids upon kids who have played a lot of baseball and have that high baseball aptitude you're talking about.
We do. So our freshman class, obviously really excited about those guys. That's a deep and very talented group. And then our current 7th grade class, that's the group that my son's in. And there have been several that have come in, around his age group there as well. I'm just excited about it because it's you've kind of, the grades don't work out where there's one stacked on top of the other. You've got a couple of years in between, and it looks like, a lot of talent sort of in the pipeline there for years ahead. And I can say this, that those kids right now are at we'll have quite a few of them just sitting out there watching us practice. And so
Mhm.
they're guys that I like to use this term, but they're guys that identify as baseball players. Like they're guys that they're probably good athletes, but if you ask them, what do you do? Or who are you? I'm a baseball player. And so, you got to have those guys in your program. And fortunately, we do have quite a few of them.
Yeah, there's rats. They're just around the cages all the time. You just can't get rid of them. They're always over there throwing. And you're like, man, you're not supposed to be throwing this month. What are you doing?
I love it.
Coach, let's talk about that. The upcoming series you have against Cardinal Newman. You and I talked on Wednesday. You guys have already played them this year. Got the win, but very tough win in what is obviously a very strong Cardinal Newman team. Let's talk about I guess not so much expectations for the series because we know it's going to be a battle for those 2, possibly 3 games. What do you expect out of Cardinal Newman? Things you got to work towards to have a solid game plan coming up for that game on Monday against Cardinal Newman in Columbia.
Well, I think for us, it's going to be being creative with our offensive pressure. I think that's going to be a marker for us because it'll be completely different than it was against Augusta Christian. Augusta Christian in those 2 games, they had probably one of the more dynamic pitchers we've seen all year in Knuckles, and we knew that we were going to have to just scrap to get hits off of him. But when we did in a big inning, we really needed to capitalize. Cardinal Newman is going to be a lot different. Cardinal Newman has guys that can pitch. They work really hard to make every pitch, but they're not going to be the type of guy that just says, here is number 1 and I dare you to hit it. They're going to be guys that they'll throw breaking balls and they'll, in fastball counts, they'll mix another off-speed pitch in and they'll try to elevate something to get you to pop it up. And they'll continue to show you different arm angles, different locations. And I even saw some video there last night where their catcher completely sets up in the other batter's box and he'll get out there, get his thumb under, try to steal a pitch because they just work really, really hard. They're well coached. They don't make mistakes. And so there will not be, we played them twice last year in the postseason. We had to play them to get in the state championship against Ben Lippin. Right. And those were 2 tough games. And then now we played them earlier this year. And the one thing they don't do, they don't give in. They don't make mistakes. They're very defensively sound. And their pitchers just work really, really hard, and they throw from kind of odd arm angles where you're going to have to adjust. If you're a guy that struggles to go backside, you could go 0 for 3 very quickly against them because they're not going to give you what you want.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a different challenge, but certainly one that this team has shown that they can absolutely handle as they go for what would be 3 state titles in a row for this Hilton Head Christian Academy program. Just talk to me about what the magnitude of that could mean for, not just this program, but for the Low Country in general to have this amount of sustainable success across these last couple of years, and how these kids have really stepped up to all the challenges that entails of pursuing a 3rd straight state title.
Well, obviously, these guys that are here, especially this group of seniors, they're special to me because I know when Coach Wilkerson was transitioning out, taking on the JV role, right there at the end of the season, they went ahead and just said, our next coach is going to be Coach Scarbro. Of course, I'd been an assistant all year long, and I was like, oh man, how are these guys going to take this? Like I just felt like they really didn't know me all that well, especially the guys that weren't pitchers. They didn't know me all that well. And I still remember, because it was the day we were heading to play Williamsburg in like the semifinal that year. I mean, I could not believe, I remember texting my wife going, I don't really believe what I just saw, because these guys, they hopped up, they were excited, they were on board from day one. And I knew we had a good group. I knew we had something special there, but this group of guys, they just really bought into everything we've done since day one. And I think because of that, I really hope that it plays out for them. What it means for, for our school in general, or for, for the Low Country, there's a lot of good baseball in this area. I mean,
No doubt.
There are good players. I've obviously had a chance to watch our middle school and our JV play against a number of teams in this area. Our battles we had with Savannah Christian were tough this year. It's the only team that beat us all year long. So just in this general area, there's a lot of good baseball. So to have anywhere near a three-peat as a state champion, I think that just really says a lot to the kids and to the families in our program that, they are just really a special group. So, I may be able to reflect on that in June and come up with a better answer, but for now, that's just really, it's just a really big deal.
When you're doing it in the big boy league now, I mean, you get skis of 3A some years, and certainly below that, like you can get a watered down field a lot of years, but skis of 4A, you're going to have to beat some people. I mean, there's some legit programs in there. So, you guys have not had a easy road at all. And you've had some battles over the last couple of years in the playoffs. I mean, your tournament, your half of the bracket this year was brutal. JP2 ran into a couple of buzzsaws. I mean, it was a stacked bracket. So what are kind of obviously we know the keys. You got to play great defense behind your pitchers, which encourages them to throw strikes. And you got to be, opportunistic at the plate. But is there one thing that kind of stands out as kind of like, if the one key that like, man, if we don't do this, we're going to be in trouble? Well,
I don't want to put a lot of pressure on any one or a couple of individuals, but, I still remember standing there on the field telling Josh Koepke, he's hit 4 for us quite a bit this year. We just recently moved him to 5. He has been fantastic for us this postseason. And what we felt like would play out has truly played out, where there will be times where they won't pitch to Slaide. They'll pitch around Slaide. They'll be happy with just walking him. We can't expect Jackson Richardson there in the 2 to just get a hit every single time. It may be that they walk Jackson and then they just turn right around and choose not to pitch to Roman either. And so if we're sitting there with multiple base runners on less than 2 outs, Josh has to come up and capitalize. Chip Hetzel has to come up and capitalize right there. And those guys this postseason, Chip and Josh, have been great for us. And so, looking at this series, I think those are 2 critical guys where you look at, how do we produce runs? It's going to be those guys that really probably, I would think make it happen, because, it is that to that point where you just, because
they can't let Slaide and Roman beat them, right? Well, like as a coach, you just can't let that happen.
Well, one of the funnier things that's happened this year is we played Hanahan at home back 3 weeks ago, right there around spring break. And Slaide came in the bullpen when I was trying to get our pitcher ready, and he had a good friend over there. And Hanahan's good. I was super excited and surprised that they were willing to come down and play us, and they're good. And Slaide said in their dugout they had written right below the lineup card, "Do not let Bird beat you." That's all they said. And Slaide said his buddy that's on the other team over there told him that's the one thing listed in the dugout. Well, Slaide went like 4 for 4. He almost hit for the cycle. He scored 3 or 4 runs. He drove in another 3 or 4. We beat him like 14-3, and really what they had put there in their dugout just was something that I don't think they, looking back on it, they didn't manage it the way they wanted to.
Right. Well, they didn't commit to it.
Yeah, and I feel like Cardinal Newman is not going to allow that to happen. They're not going to say, okay, this guy or this guy or this guy are not going to just flip the series upside down. We're going to make you beat us with other guys. And so I think Chip Hetzel and Josh Koepke will be critical for us, because they're good hitters. They're really, really good hitters, and they've both had really good postseason. And I think if if we're sitting here as state champions this time next week, it'll have a lot to do with those two guys.
Good answer. Slaide, as we mentioned earlier, Slaide had been committed to Georgia Southern, but he switched it up last night. I saw he announced that he's going to be a Hatter, joining his big brother Steele at Stetson, which is super cool. Slaide's numbers this year, I just want to put in this in perspective for y'all.
Oh boy, here we go.
He's batting 630. That's his batting average. 630.
Wait, hold on.
With a 703 on base. You ready for his OPS?
Yeah, not enough.
It starts with a 2.024.
Wow.
Yeah, no, that's not
He has a
impressive whatsoever.
2024
Wow.
OPS. He has 51 hits and 81 at bats and 112 plate appearances, which is outrageous. 14 of them doubles, 6 triples, 10 home runs, 37 RBIs, 54 runs scored. He's walked 18 times, struck out 6. Only once looking. I bet it wasn't a strike. 9 hit by pitches, a sacrifice bunt, 3 sac flies. He's reached on an error once, and he's 25 for 27 on stolen bases. It's a pretty solid year, Coach.
That's
Yeah,
phenomenal.
it's funny.
No, that's a typical season.
It's easy to win when you got that at the top of the lineup.
Nothing special there. There's nothing special there. That's Slaide Burd. I have no idea who he is. That's crazy, guys.
The bird is the word, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
One of my favorite stories for the year involves Slaide. We were playing Savannah Christian at home, and it was kind of late in the game, and Slaide hit one, and from my vantage point this year is the farthest home run he's hit. He hit it way up into the trees. I mean, it went probably over the road out there at our park. Well, when he did, their dugout came out, and he kind of looked in there in the dugout, and then our guys were yelling kind of back and forth. They're just kind of getting kind of chippy. Well, just to try to do the right thing the next day, I called their head coach and I said, Coach, I just want to be sure, obviously our guys didn't say anything inappropriate, or if they did, we need to try to handle that and get out ahead of that. And I like Matt a lot, the head coach at Savannah Christian. He's a good guy. We formed a good relationship. He told me, he said, Coach, from my vantage point, if you hit a ball that far, you can say whatever you want.
Amen. I think any true baseball guy would say the same. Like, hey man, if you don't want him to talk, don't let him hit one over the trees. Like Max Muncy, go get it out of the ocean. I like that one. No, that's great. And I know Matt a little bit. Matt Oglesby, right?
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, Matt. So Matt played a small world thing way back in the day, even though he was from Savannah. There was a short time where we had Legion teams, not only in Hilton Head and Beaufort, but also in Bluffton. They started one up, and there was not a Legion team in Savannah at the time. So Bluffton got Savannah as their territory. And so they were able to get a couple of kids, and the team was not good, but Oglesby was. And then I think he ended up going on and playing at Savannah State, if I'm not mistaken. But because I kind of kept track of him after that. But yeah. That's a great story. That's a great story.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good coach too. And come to find out, there really wasn't anything. He just was like, yeah, he didn't say anything, but he didn't say anything inappropriate. No one did. It's just a good high school baseball game. So yeah,
man. Well, and look, these kids today, they talk like that's part of they do that, and they're okay with it. Like it's just kind of part of the culture now. I think in a way, the chirping. I mean, sometimes it can go over the line, but I think for the most part, it's all in good spirits.
I want to hear your thoughts on. I said I was at that the first game against Christian. How special is it to see a hero that some people we talk about Slaide, we talk about others Jackson, but just to have Dylan Jem be the hero in such an important game with that home run. I mean, that had to be special for not just them, but the entire group to see someone like that come up big and not just, deliver in a clutch moment, but a pitcher against the pitcher who was nearly unbeatable that night.
Dylan.
Yeah, I was so happy for Dylan because I can, I say this about probably, all of our guys, but Dylan's a genuinely good kid. He's a genuinely soft-spoken, nice kid. He just kind of always seems to do the right thing. And he's a real hard worker too. I mean, you look at our fall workouts. I mean, he's a weight room guy. He's always in there working incredibly hard. And the funny thing about it was that day he grabbed Coach Rodriguez and he said, "Coach, something's a little off with my swing." After we took pregame, he said, "Can I go down there and get a few extra swings in between the time we take infield and the time that we, do starting lineups and all that?" Eddie took him down there. They worked on some things. And, he had a couple of good looks at Knuckles early on. And then I've watched the video, I don't know how many times. Yeah. He went up there and he's literally standing on the plate. And he's like, if I get an elevated fastball, I'm going to drill it. And he did. He went up there with
over the treehouse.
Oh, one focus. And I was super excited for Dylan because, he's come over this year and played a real critical role for us. And from literally day one, our guys have just embraced him. He's been a great fit for our team. And so, for Dylan, I was so happy for him, so excited. And you could just tell his teammates were too. They were thrilled.
Hype. I mean, they barely let him get to home plate. They're trying to throw the water bucket on him between third and home. The umpire had to hold him off for a little bit. But no, it was awesome. And you guys have a tremendous atmosphere over there. And if all goes well, you'll have a chance to clinch it at home. You heard us talking about it. Do you agree? Would you prefer to play game 1 on the road and then game 2 at home? Or
yeah, I'm certainly no expert in 3-game series, but I do know the last 2 years, game 2 has really, really worked out for us.
I believe game 2 has been at home both times. Yeah. Obviously, the first one, it was the clincher. The second time, you guys came from behind to force game 3.
Yeah. And so, it's been that for us because our team, and I've said this for the last 2 or 3 years, I've said, guys, if you want to be known as a real legit program, you have to be a different animal at home than you are anywhere else. And our guys have bought into that completely. And we are in our home park over there. We are a really, really tough team. That's not to say that we're unbeatable, but I mean, we have won a lot of games in a row at home against teams.
What is it, like 25?
Somewhere around
Toby
there.
knows. Toby knows how many it is, but you haven't lost one the last 2 years at home, right?
That's correct. It's been like since March of last year.
Was it Hilton Head Prep that got you at home last?
No, actually, it was a team out of where I was from East Tennessee, Sevier County. Beat us up.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But if you look at that, that's been a big deal for us. Is we played well at home. So that game 2, either you're winning it all in game 2, or you're getting a lot of momentum back in game 2. Mm-hmm. And so, I really, really want game 2 at home if at all possible. Yeah. Unfortunately, it looks like right now, if weather and everything else works out, we should have that.
10-4.
Yeah, although, we'll see how the weather plays out. You never really know around here because it was like supposed to be a ton of rain today. We didn't get much rain at all. So you really, we'll never know until the day of.
Might be coming tomorrow, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's super unpredictable. But, well, hey, Coach, thanks so much for making time for us tonight. And congratulations on another phenomenal season, no matter what happens next week. But we're certainly hoping that maybe Tuesday night we'll all get to go out to the cage and watch you guys clinch a 3rd one in a row.
Well, I would love that, and I hope to see you guys out there. Thank you for all that you guys do for high school sports and programs like ours. It really does mean a lot.
Yes, sir. Thanks a bunch, and we'll talk to you real soon.
Okay, sounds great.
Thanks, Coach. Have a good one.
See you, man.
All right, that's Coach Jay Scarbro from Hilton Head Christian Academy. Nick Williamson calling him the best coach right there. Best coach there is right there. He's tremendous, and I've gotten to
really.
I know you've gotten to be around the program a lot, Max, and I've gotten to be kind of tangential to it too because our Waves team worked out over there a lot, and Jay's obviously always around, and just a super personable guy and tremendously knowledgeable about the game. And I just love his bedside manner, so to speak. He's just a calm, collected guy. Doesn't get too fired up. He doesn't yell at him a lot, and just kind of sets the expectations high, and they rise to meet him. And it's been a really good fit, and looks like he'll be there for a while. I mean, his son's a seventh grader, and he's tremendous too. He's already playing second base on the JV at a very high level. And so they've got a lot of talent in that program.
Yeah, and for me, it's really it's so much fun to watch the program I grew up with. For almost 10 years.
Come a long way since that state championship at Salkehatchie back in the day.
That's right.
Yes.
And it's been so great to be a part of a program that I was a part of for so many years. Not just I remember going to the summer baseball camps they would host when I was in like elementary school. So I grew up around the program for almost 12 years of my life, and so to see the program I grew up with having the success that they are having over these past 3 years, and even before that, and JW's first season as head coach, and him trying to build a program from start, and seeing some of the guys when he first came in, some of the guys that were seniors were guys that I played with, when they were freshmen, and Ben Eddy and a couple other guys from that first team that JW coached, and I saw, I got to see this team in his first season. I just said, boy, if they got a coaching staff like this for the foreseeable future, there's no doubt in my mind that this is going to be a program that's really going to try to build something special. And I think with JW passing it on to Jay Scarbro, I think there's no better coach you can ask for to take over that spot. And so I think this is it's going to be a really great thing for the program. And it's funny because every time I see Slaide come out, he's wearing that number 11 jersey, which is what I wore when I was playing. So yeah.
You mean they didn't retire it after you graduated?
No, of course not.
I'm just playing, man. I'm just playing, man.
No, they would never do that. Anyway, it's so great to see.
You don't retire jerseys in high school. You can't afford that.
No.
Yeah, not a chance.
That would be a negatory.
I think it's just there are times when they won that first title 2 years ago. I was of course on the call for that. That infamous call.
And by the way, that still plays before.
Appreciate all you guys do. Our intro wouldn't be the same without you guys. They're still running it back.
Well, they have that. So before they call out the starting lineups, of course, they have that whole walk up thing that, of course, DJ Styles puts out. It's so great. And I was there when I called that, I was in tears because I got to see, program.
Don't blame you.
Yeah, man.
Program. Sorry. Yeah, I'm getting emotional because it's a program I poured my heart out into for so many years, and to see them win it, 2 years ago was really special. And to see the success that they're having now, it's really a dream come true for someone who wanted that back in the day in the late 2010s when I was playing. I wanted it so bad, and now to see, the players that have come up, and of course, the Burd brothers I watched when they were in middle school. So to see these players come through and be a part of Hilton Head Christian Academy baseball that is now as successful as it is, it's really something special.
Right on, man.
Absolutely.
Well, hey, we're getting long in the tooth here, so I'll let you know what's going on tomorrow, and then we'll get to our sponsors and our parting thoughts. But tomorrow, they're going to start early at Bridges Prep. We got baseball on tap. Weather looks dicey, so Bridges Prep going to host Academic Magnet at 10 a.m. That's an elimination game in 2A, and then 4A District Championship Game 1, South Florence at May River. I got a little tea on that. We're going to clock it. So it's scheduled for 6 p.m. And the reason I'm told is that the default time for a high school league is 6 p.m. Okay. If both teams can't mutually agree upon a time, then it's 6 p.m. There is some speculation from the May River side that it would be beneficial to South Florence if the game got rained out tomorrow and they played a doubleheader on Monday instead, and because then they'd get to rest their pitchers for a couple more days.
Yep.
So there may be a little gamesmanship afoot
Not a bad idea,
playing
though.
with this start
No,
time, but maybe the rain, but the Sharks, they said, you know what? We'll play anytime, anywhere. Come on. So they're
There
going
you
to
go.
play at 6:00 if possible tomorrow.
God,
so we
that
hope
would
the
have
rain
been
holds
that
off.
would have been a game I would have loved to have seen. Hilton Head Christian taking on May River for a game this year. That would have been fun.
Yeah, I know. Would have been cool.
Just thought about that.
Didn't happen.
Didn't pan out.
I
Next
don't
year.
think their JVs played each other, so maybe in the future.
Hey,
we'll see
man.
that.
If they do it next year, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I would be down with that. Two of the best schools in the area going at it for a game.
Yeah, I mean it's a hard thing for the public school because it's a no-win situation for them.
Yep.
Yeah.
That if they win, they're supposed to win, and if they lose, then oh my God, they lost to them. Now all their guys are going to transfer there, which is not going to happen.
Well,
but
and the thing I would say, well, yeah, that's.
But that's
actually
the
a good point.
narrative.
That's
I mean,
the
that's
narrative.
why. That's one of the reasons why you don't want to, is because you don't want to invite that.
Yeah.
And that those coaches talk to each other, and sometimes guys go one way or the other, and they get in their feelings about it, and decide, you know what, we're not going to play them anymore.
Yeah.
But maybe they'll play each other next year. I don't know.
Hey, who knows?
Scarborough's great, man. I don't know how anybody could not get on with him. He's just a pure baseball guy, and he's built
this year.
He is sustaining a heck of a program.
Yeah.
They didn't play prep either.
Sure
Maybe they're making people mad, I guess. Nobody wants to play them.
Who knows?
Hey, the better you get, the harder it gets to schedule. That's real,
That's truth.
because
Yeah.
people don't want to play you when they know you're
Yeah.
going to beat their
for
ass.
sure.
And then we got some soccer tomorrow. Wes, did we ever get to the bottom of time and place?
You're
for
looking
Hilton Head
for
Prep
a time
girls?
for that one as well. I have not seen anything definitive. I checked
Jeez,
I checked their
Giza.
Instagram. I have not seen anything yet.
I
Checked,
just think it's just, of course, we know how unpredictable the weather is.
yeah, I guess
Of course.
that's the factor for
I mean, they say it's supposed to rain tomorrow and thunderstorms, or at least rain through the night.
well,
so
the
who
turf will
knows?
be able to handle, like, it won't if it gets
Well,
if
and
they-
that's the thing. Baseball is a different story, but
Yeah.
with the football,
Yeah, but
slot-
that prep games, the prep games in Columbia, I don't know what the weather's supposed to do there.
yeah, that's true. Not sure what will happen
know.
with that state title game.
it depends on where
Yeah,
they're
it could
playing.
impact things. And then we got soccer, boys soccer. We're not sure what time. Hilton Head May River at the Tank. And then we also have Colleton County hosting Airport for a softball elimination game in 4A, and the continuation of the Skeeza State Tournament, where JP2 will play Heathwood Hall at 9. If they win, they'll play Wilson Hall again on 11:30 and need to beat them twice to advance to the championship series. Colleton Prep in better shape in the 3A bracket. They are the undefeated team, so they'll get either Calhoun or Williamsburg. They beat both of them today. They'll play both one-run games. They'll get one of them tomorrow at 11:30, and if they lose it, they'll have to play again. If they win it, they will advance to the championship series, which I believe starts Monday.
Monday,
Uh,
yes.
Monday.
yeah.
That's a quick turnaround. Only 2 days after the end of the
Yeah.
tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do that.
It's
with
okay,
softball,
though.
I think.
Yeah, you can definitely do it with softball.
Baseball is a different story when it comes
Yeah,
to that. but
baseball's a lot
softball-
different,
Right.
which is why they get a lot more time. I mean, it's going to be exciting Monday as well, with, of course, Hilton Head Christian getting their state championship series getting underway, and then your Harveyville Hurricanes will host Green Sea Floyds as well on Monday in the third round of the High School League 1A playoffs.
That's right.
Yep.
And we're still holding out hope for an all Hardyville lower state final. If Royal can win at Charleston Math and Science, we shall see. But shout out to our sponsors. We got Hudson Seafood House on the docks. Great place for seafood sunsets and cocktails on Hilton Head Island, right on Skull Creek. Beautiful spot. Great food. Marcus says, get the slaw. And Coach Mullis says, get it Andrew style. On
Andrew
your po'
style,
boy.
yeah.
The hush puppies too.
The
Those
hush
are
puppies
sweet.
too. I'm with you on
Those
the
are
hush
sweet,
puppies.
deep fried balls of goodness. Those things
Yeah.
are off the hook.
Yes.
Yeah, facts.
Love
They
the
are.
slump.
He's not lying. They
Only
are really
facts from Marcus Walsh. Check out Hudson Seafood House on the Docks, presenting sponsor of Under the Bus. Check it out on the Lowco Media Network and hear what Curry Kirkpatrick, Bob Stevens, and Rich Basirko have to say and who they throw under the bus. Next episode coming Monday night, 7 p.m.
right.
Is the plan. So we'll see you there for Under the Bus. If you need a personal injury attorney, Twingen Twombly has a rare name, but they provide remarkable service at Twingen Twombly Injury Attorneys in Beaufort. And if you need to improve your view of the Lowco, our old friend Coach Barron from Hilton Head Prep hung up his whistle and started learning about a new kind of screens. He wants to improve your view of the Lowco at HHI Windows and Doors. And if you got to get the hair looking right, go to Jay's Barbershop in Ridgeland, the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. And while you're downtown, they got a lot of good tacos down there.
Yes.
And finally, wrestling. Reverence Wrestling Club is our official wrestling sponsor, presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind, and the presenting sponsor of the Reverence Ironman tomorrow at May River. Wrestling starts at 10 o'clock, I believe. So I'll be over there doing a little volunteering to set up before and checking out a little of the grappling. So if you're a wrestling fan, get out to May River tomorrow for the Reverence Ironman USA Wrestling Tournament. Should be fun. All right, boys. That brings us to our parting thoughts. Marcus Walsh, you're up first, buddy.
Well, we're going to start it off with tomorrow. Kevin Libby and I will be at the All-American Football Camp, 9 to noon for the middle session. And as we know, if it's lightning and thundering and everything else in the morning, we go to the gym. So that will be going on rain or shine. Doesn't matter. They'll just pivot. So we'll know more about that. That's always, one of my favorite events of the year to go to and cover, to see the kids, learning from tremendous athletes and seeing the camaraderie between, all the kids, the campers, the coaches themselves, a lot being players, whether college, NFL, you name it, coming together for a common good. And certainly BJ and Sarah do amazing work putting that thing together every single year. And it just seems to get better and better. I've been covering it predominantly since 2014, and I've had some amazing moments with some amazing star athletes all over the field covering that event. So looking forward to getting out there with the guy that's my right hand man in a lot of ways, and that's how Kevin and I actually met, was that event. Wayne
Really?
Morris talked to me about it, and he said, I'm gonna pair you with this guy named Kevin Libby, and I think you guys can definitely produce some great work together. And boy, have we ever. And I will say this.
Did they also tell you what his character would be when they told you they were pairing you with him?
You ham and egg it. Y'all ham and egg it.
Wayne told me he's like, Kevin is a character. We work really well together. We make it work. We're I'm blessed to have him as one of my best friends and a great teammate for sure. We're looking forward to getting out there tomorrow and putting on some great stuff for you guys to catch soon on the news on WHHI.
Heck yeah. Good stuff. All right. Next up, Max Raj.
This week it's been a crazy week at Beaufort County. We're trying to wrap up all the spring sports, and of course, weather played a factor this past weekend. So, of course, with what was a fantastic season, because we haven't had any weather issues, we now have makeup games, which is always fun to try and make up. But on top of that, today we had all-star tryouts have begun for Beaufort and Bluffton, as the youth baseball teams baseball and softball teams are being put together. It's a fun time of the year. And of course, Dixie Boys baseball season has just started in Beaufort County. So they're underway, and they'll be heading towards in the next few weeks or so, preparing for the All-Stars as well. So it's a fun time in Beaufort County. I'm very excited for it. It's one of my favorite times of the year to get to see these All-Star teams play. And we have a bunch of district tournaments that are going to be played in both Bluffton and Beaufort this year. No, Bluffton, I believe, is hosting a state softball tournament as well this year too.
Yeah, my daughter was going to be playing in it, and now she got a broken arm.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's gonna be a busy year. All those district tournaments get started in June. That second week of June, I think it is when a lot of these are starting, and then state tournaments will be the later half of the month of June. So of course we got a big state softball tournament. I'll be out there for that in Bluffton. I think it's the through the I think the 18th, no, like the 20th through the 24th or something like that. So we'll see.
Right.
So anyway, just big.
We got an inside man to keep us updated.
Yeah,
when that's
I'll
taking
keep going
place.
at that. Yeah, there are different dates for districts. I do know all the state softball tournaments. I think their tournaments start on the 19th. Just the details for some of the softball tournaments have not come out completely just yet. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But a lot of tournaments taking place in Bluffton and Beaufort for districts. So it's going to be very fun and exciting to see those take place. So the other thing I was going to say is regarding outside of the Low Country, a big baseball series in Major League Baseball is starting tonight. The Braves taking on the Dodgers in LA starting tonight. Braves, last time I checked, are currently up 1-0 in that game against the Dodgers. I'm not sure who's starting for them tonight. Braves had the day off yesterday after losing their first series of the season to the Seattle Mariners on the road in a 3-1 loss on Wednesday.
You jinxed them.
I know. But it's funny because I saw someone posted, of course, saying the Braves lost the series, and they were like, "Oh man, our season's over, guys."
The sky's falling.
Yeah, they were just like, "Oh gosh, what are we doing? Why?" Anyway, so
it's doggone good team in Atlanta.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very fun series between these two teams at Dodger Stadium. I'm sure that place is gonna be packed this weekend. With
it's a tourist.
Well, not for the first couple innings or the last couple innings.
What?
Wow,
Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
Oh, Dodger Stadium. Oh yeah. That's
they don't pack it out. They don't pack it out for the middle innings.
The problem is if you're in the traffic, you won't get there until like the third inning.
Right.
If you're lucky.
Right. Yeah, and you got to leave in the sixth to beat the traffic home.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's actually, by the way, the Dodgers just tied it.
But
the Dodgers have just tied the ball game.
So there's that, and then I'm trying to think what the other thing was.
No, Tucker double. The former Chicago Cub, Kyle Tucker.
Yep. So
my wife hates him.
I can't think of the other thing, but obviously it was great talking with Jay Scarbro, and obviously I mentioned how great it's been to see this team be really good. I mean, guys, one loss in regular season play this year is just is unheard of. You just do not see that very often.
And that
baseball.
one was a 1-run loss. I mean, gosh.
Yeah. I mean,
they were an eyelash away from being undefeated.
Yeah,
Crazy.
Honestly.
Although I think I would be really nervous if I were undefeated going into a 3-game series for all the marbles.
Well, that's what any coach will tell you. If you lose a game, it's a good thing because even if you're playing extremely well, losing a game is a good thing because you can learn a lot.
I think even just playing that 1-0 game against Augusta Christian was I think that was even better than losing a game. Yeah. Just being scared out of your mind until the bottom of the seventh is even better than losing.
You get the job done. You come back and you play a fantastic game on Wednesday and a 9-2 victory. I mean, they played their cards right against Augusta Christian on Wednesday, and I was talking with Jay about that. He mentioned that their starting pitcher had pitched the day before against
Knuckles. You talking about Knuckles? Yeah, he threw like an inning, right?
I think it may have been more than that. I
thought he just closed it out.
I'm not sure. So
you can only throw up to 30 the day before and come back. So
I think he pitched at least two. He pitched at least an inning. I think he may have pitched two, but I can't remember.
He couldn't have thrown too many pitches, but he's good, and he's only an 8th grader. That Knuckles kid.
Yeah, that Knuckles kid, he's good. He just
He's
but
real
the funny
good.
thing, the thing was that he must have been having some arm issues because they had
Yeah.
pulled him out earlier than I thought they were going to. Because the coach came
Wait,
out
are you talking about the last game?
Yeah, their last game against Augusta.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought you meant the first game. My bad.
No.
So
This
we're
game,
not talking about Knuckles then.
No. I think it's
somebody else,
their top guy started on
Gotcha.
Wednesday, and he must have pitched the game before or something like that. Jamin mentioned that he was pretty worn out by the time they took him out. Like they said, he was having some arm issues. Coach came out during the game to check on him, make sure he was okay. We were all wondering what was going on. He was kind of moving his arm around, loosening it up, make sure it was good to go. And they pulled him out early because of that. And I think that was part of the downfall there for Augusta Christian, because I think if he would have stayed in longer, I think we would have been looking at a definitely a much closer game than it was, because the Eagles were I wouldn't say struggling. I mean, they were playing good baseball against him, but he was keeping them to a bare minimum when it comes to going up against.
Oh yeah, Knuckles did pitch the first 2 innings of the game on Wednesday, and then they took him out, and then Cease came in and they rocked Cease.
Yeah, they rocked Cease. Cease was struggling in that game, definitely struggling.
Yeah, he walked 3, and
anyway,
banged him up.
It was just a privilege to have Jay on. Me and him have been talking about getting him on this show for months, and it's just been every time I think we could.
Yeah, and he texted me too. But I knew we were going to be talking to him at the end, so
for
jump
sure.
the gun too much.
Yeah, I was hoping Slaide would come on tonight, but I know he's a high schooler. It's a Friday night, and he wants to go out and either relax.
Yeah, he probably something better came along. I mean, something better than hanging out with us nerds talking about.
Well, and we had originally thought we were going to talk with him last night, along with Coach Scarbro, and he was like, "I'm not going to be able to do it tonight," and then I found out why.
I was hoping maybe since it wasn't a school night tonight, but I guess it's a fun night.
Yeah.
So
it's a fun night, man.
We lose either way. We're not a high priority, and we understand it. Don't worry about it. Don't even sweat it. But
don't sweat it.
All right. Yep. Wes Kerr, I think you're up for parting thoughts.
Yeah. First off, our good friend who we've talked about for a number of years is still grinding in the Korn Ferry Tour. Bryson Nimmer, right now he's trying to get it going. He's still right around, let's see, the top 60 in the Korn Ferry Tour list. So looking for a boost. And maybe he'll get it because he is going to play in next week's tournament, the Colonial Life Charity Classic in his home state of South Carolina at Wood Creek. Will be and so always cool. It's gonna be cool for Bryson Nimmer to have he's played a couple of heritages as a sponsored exemption a couple years back, and now the opportunity to have a Korn Ferry event in South Carolina, the Colonial Life Charity Classic, and it's cool.
Actually,
in Elgin.
Yeah, speaking of golfers from the area, obviously Trace Crow. I don't know if you guys have known. He had been in rehab. He'd been dealing with some injuries. He came back for the Zurich Classic the week after the Heritage out in New Orleans.
Top 5, right?
He finished 4th with his partner at the Zurich Classic in his first tournament back on the PGA Tour.
Nice.
How about that? Fantastic. I mean, that dude continues to impress me. He continues to improve ever since getting that tour card, and now that he's back, he's been playing some good golf.
Good stuff. By the way, USCB right now in 10th in the Division II Southeast Regional. The top 6 that make it. Is that correct? I'm not sure how.
I think it's less than that auto qualify, but then they take quite a few at larges.
And USCB might be one of those teams that could potentially get in at large if they finish.
Yeah, you're gonna have to move up a little bit, I think.
Yeah,
picked up a good number tomorrow in the final round of the regional, so we'll see what they can do tomorrow. Looks like it says they're gonna have a shotgun start at 9 a.m. So it must be some rain coming. They're gonna. Like. They're going to get started early. Leading the way for the Sand Sharks, though, in the top 10, tied for 9th, is Octavio Laurent, who's 5 under through 2 rounds, 3 under.
Freshman, by the way.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
He shot a 369, including an eagle on the ninth hole par 5, and then backed it up with a 270 today in round 2. So, yeah, just a fresh and funny star over there for Hilton or for USCB. So, congratulations to him. Heck of a performance so far. And then finally, something you mentioned, Max, a couple of days ago. Aaron Rodgers is in the news again. We weren't quite sure where he will play or if he will play in the league, but now he is expected to visit the team. The team is, of course, Pittsburgh this weekend, and now there's growing optimism that he will be back for the Steelers in 2026.
Just
Why is that optimism? Why is there optimism about that?
Yeah.
Tell him
why?
to get
Retire.
Just
retire.
Ian Rappaport expected to visit Pittsburgh today, likely going there for the rest of the weekend. Understand that Aaron Rodgers is likely to play in the NFL in 2026. So,
why didn't the Pittsburgh Steelers go after a quarterback or something? Seriously, I know the quarterback class wasn't super heavy this year, but I'm sure there's a better.
I'm not quite sure what you'd expect. I mean, you know what you're going to get from Aaron Rodgers, and he's 42.
Exactly.
It's diminishing returns.
Well,
like,
and the other thing
and it's so much drama. Is the juice worth the squeeze at this point? It just can't.
And here's the other thing, Justin. Here's the other thing. You have a new coaching staff as well. Mike Tomlin's not there anymore.
Right, that's true.
You know, so what is this saying about the new coaching staff? Is it just going to be some of the same old things? Like, look, Mike Tomlin's a fantastic coach, and he's one of the better coaches the NFL has had over the last, what is it now, 15, 16 years, something like that.
I'm just a hater.
For a while.
No, I don't blame you. I don't like the fact that Aaron Rodgers is coming back. Just retire already. I know he's a good quarterback. He's been a great quarterback.
Tired of his shtick.
Yes, I agrey. I think it's time for him to step aside, and I feel like Pittsburgh could look for something better than Aaron Rodgers right now.
It's giving Brett Favre.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. And do not forget who he played for in Green Bay was Mike McCarthy. That's why I thought Mike McCarthy going to Pittsburgh was such a good deal.
With the Vikings.
Honestly. But yeah, it's turning into Brett Favre all over again.
Look, I get Mike McCarthy and the Aaron Rodgers connection. Obviously, it was great during their time in Green Bay, but we are talking about an Aaron Rodgers that is what, 42
years old. Yep. 42 years old.
And we are talking about a Mike McCarthy.
And high on ayahuasca.
We're talking about
no doubt about that.
Yeah, we're talking about a Mike McCarthy who needs a good season. If he wants to be a coach that is talked about again, he needs a good year. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers can give him that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Only time will tell.
Next
Thursday is the schedule. Next Thursday is the schedule release. One of my favorite nights of the year. I love it.
Yeah.
I know. Hey, I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm a huge dork.
I know. I already called us nerds several times tonight.
No, just talking about how the NFL can hype up anything. The draft is a huge day. Even the schedule release is a huge marketable event.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the number one sport in America.
Dude,
seriously,
chill out.
And when you have
but I mean, to a large degree, it became marketable because they marketed it. Would have anybody have thought that people would get hyped for that? I mean, but when you make a big deal out of it, then it becomes a big
people
deal.
Get excited.
Speaking of big deals, I don't know if this is a big deal or not, but I did come across it, and it is interesting. I found a recruit who has committed to USCB basketball, men's basketball. His name is Tyson Wilson, and quick search discovers that he is a JUCO transfer from Eastern Florida State, where he averaged 28 minutes, 9.6 points, 5.2 rebounds, 4.4 assists per game. He came via Treasure Coast High School in Florida, where he was a dog. His senior, he averaged double digits every year, but his senior year, he averaged 18.7 with 10.4 rebounds, 4.4 assists, and 3.3 steals. So, he looks like a pretty legit player.
Guy. Someone who fits that mold of what he's winning in that program really well.
And he has cool hair. A cool look. Like he just
That
looks
adds
the
to it.
part. Here, I'll show.
I'm
I'll try
just
to show
still
you.
I'm still
But
reeling.
look at this guy. He looks
I
cool.
saw that come across. I'm
He
just
looks
reeling
super
in
cool.
the fact that Harry Skinner's going to be playing.
I know.
That's
And
so
Harry's
cool, man.
like-
not just so to have him and Courtney Campbell, two
I know.
former
Yeah, I
local
I mean,
studs.
arguably the best. I mean, he was the best boys player.
Well, I'm
in the
just saying
area
you
this
could
year,
say that
without
both
doubt.
Skinner and Courtney
And-
Campbell have been two of the best guards that we have seen.
That's what I was saying.
Yes.
That's what I was
Yeah.
going to say is I don't know if you could say Courtney was the best in her class because we had Devin Yard in that class
Yep, we
too.
did.
But Courtney was tremendous. I mean,
Actually, Devin Yard has just transferred to a new school as well. I saw that the other day. I
Yeah,
can't
where'd she
remember where it
go?
was.
I knew she was getting out of Vermont. She's a big brain, so
Our kid.
the academic part is the biggest
Devin
part for her.
Yard.
But
Yeah.
you saw
I'm trying
that
to
somewhere?
Mark that down.
Maybe it was it Mercer? I don't think it was Mercer.
Yardy. Let's see here.
Tampa.
Oh,
Tampa women's
Oh
basketball.
yeah, U Tampa. Yeah,
U Tampa.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
U Tampa. They've been in the D2 Elite 8 a couple of times recently.
All right.
So
Yeah, that's a good
oh,
program.
good for her. She should dominate at that level.
Yeah. Good
On
fit
the
for her.
sauce. Yeah, there she is.
Yep.
There she is. Devin Yard. Welcome to Tampa. Outstanding. Good for her. All right. And the Chicago Cubs have just won their 10th in a row.
Wow.
The Yankees lost tonight, and the Braves are in action now. If the Braves should lose, the Chicago Cubs would stand alone with the best record in baseball.
Wow. Man, that
Wow.
Cubs team is good. That Cubs team's really good.
And here's the thing, though. Like, there's some smoke and mirrors right now with the pitching because, we've had bad luck with that. Steele's still out from last year's injury. Cade Horton went down in his first start of the season.
Yeah.
And then Matthew Boyd got hurt the other day.
Yeah.
Doing something weird. I
Again.
forget what it was. He was like hurt his back doing something odd, right? Like not something that you would normally hurt yourself doing.
Well, yeah. The funniest thing is it was kind of the Braves to start out the season too. It was a bit.
Yeah.
Obviously they've
and they're
pitched
both
really
cooking.
well. I mean,
Yep,
they've
they
pitched
are.
really well despite the injuries that they've had in the pitching department this year. But it was kind of smoke and mirrors for a while, and then some of these players are starting to get back on the right foot. But
Well, and our
hopefully-
closer's been
hopefully-
down, Palencia.
Yeah.
And then homie but like Colin Ray has been tremendous for the Cubs. Ben Brown tonight, he was sensational, super efficient with his pitches. So no, it's been a fun run, man. I hope they can keep it going. Could be a fun summer.
Yeah.
And finally, I just want to show love to my girls who saw it through this season.
Yep.
It's a hard thing to be a part of a team that doesn't win, and to show up every day and put in the work. And certainly not everybody did. And if everybody did, we probably would have been better than we were. But the ones who did show up every day and put in the work got so much better, and I appreciate them so much. And to our three seniors, I'll miss our three seniors tremendously, but I'm really excited about the youth that we have coming back, and just the being relevant in our school, like softball being relevant at our school, and kids coming to our games and saying they're going to play next year or the year after that or whatever is pretty awesome. So grateful to have the opportunity to do it again this year. And it's one of the hardest things I've ever done. And I have so much respect for these coaches because, man, especially when you teach in the building and then you got to go to practice after, and it makes for some long days. And there are nights where you're not getting home till very late. And it's a lot of sacrifice, but it's so important. And I think it's just critical to developing our next generation of young people into leaders. So
Great way to
also it's graduation season. So much love to all the graduates out there. I know a couple I've seen come across. Kylan Simmons got his degree. Katie Ryan already got her degree at King. She's still got a year left. She's going to start graduate school. Jordan Slocum, Colleton County softball star. She got her degree from North Greenville. I'm seeing all these kids in caps and gowns and walking across stages, and I love it.
Including the people that worked with me and Wes at the Sandtrack Game Day Network that graduated this year as well.
Yes. Congratulations to all of those who, especially those who did a fantastic job helping us out game day staff and all of the student athletes we got to cover. Congratulations and best of luck in the
Go
next
get it.
chapter.
Go take on the world, babies.
Get 'em.
All right, great show tonight. We will tentatively plan on having a show tomorrow, but we may scrap it if there's not a lot of action that gets played.
Before we get off the air, I'm still trying to find, trying to check one more time to see if that soccer game has been updated in terms of that start time. I have not seen anything yet. It looks like baseball. You said 6 o'clock likely.
That's crazy.
6 o'clock is the scheduled start time for baseball.
Right.
I'm not on the parent square for soccer, so I don't have the inside information on that.
I have not seen anything updated yet. We will find out tomorrow.
Yep. 100%. I find it crazy how we can't find a score.
I don't see nothing.
Or a time.
Yeah. Well, it may be a little in flux due to the weather, especially since it's a short trip. It's a 25-minute trip, so you can wait till morning to decide on a time if you need to.
Very true.
All right, boys, good stuff tonight. It's been a fun week, rounding up all the playoff results, and had some great guests as well. Thanks to Jay Scarbro for jumping on with us tonight, and best of luck to HHCA baseball as they go for a third straight state championship next week. We'll be here to tell you all about it. So for Max Araj, Marcus Walsh, and Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. Thanks for joining us this Friday night, and until next time, go Lowco.